Hey guys, hope you've enjoyed the video so far. If you have, feel free to subscribe, because in the future we will be doing sort of more videos sort of in this realm. So hope you've enjoyed so far, and hope you enjoy part 3 of our Bob Dylan series. Thanks.
Number 3, Like a Rolling Stone. This gem, beloved by fans and critics alike, was hated as maybe the first sellout record. Dylan was the folk hero of, well, folk music.
Pop groups produced better rubbish than that. It was a bloody disgrace. It was. He wants shooting. He's a traitor.
A beloved prince before he decided to bring that world crashing down around their ears. Like a Rolling Stone charted at number 2, only held back by the Beatles' smash hit Help, as in, oh God, help, Bob Dylan is writing pop songs now? Please help me. Just like most of Bob Dylan's work, you can miss the forest for the trees if you're book blind. You fawn over lines like, you used to ride a chrome horse with your diplomat who carried on his shoulder a Siamese cat. Those are just window dressing for the simple core of truth the song is built around. You thought they were all kidding you, and now you're gonna have to get used to it. These are the insights he builds around the song. It's seeing clearly into a woman he has no respect for. Her name is Edie Sedgwick, famous for being a star in the Andy Warhol's factory scene, infamously known for that terrible biopic where Anakin Skywalker plays Bob Dylan. And we honestly really wish we were joking about that.
Don't get us confused, sister, alright? Those Bobs, they get the message out.
Musically, it's no surprise this became a smash hit. Dylan uses melody and pacing in a way we rarely see, dragging the end lines over cliffs or throwing them off entirely to allow the music to thrive. This song is famous for the organ's far-off scream, notoriously created by a guitarist?
You're there, now come on, you're there to play the guitar, is that correct?
Please don't do this.
And Mike Bloomfield is there, and you decide Bloomfield is a lot better player than you, am I right so far?
Yeah, why don't you just tell it?
I'm going to try to tell it.
Don't ask me.
And then do you sneak into the studio to play the organ that is not even your primary instrument?
Yeah.
And
it worked.
The piano positively bounces at the other end, giving the song borders to play in. The bass accomplishes a rare feat. It consistently feels like we're going to approach a climax without losing momentum. But the star is clearly lead guitarist Mike Bloomfield, a wild animal finally enchained from blues rules. He is everywhere on this record, a storm on the intro, a crunch to push the bass, a hook to drag the piano in by the throat. He fills all the gaps without staying anywhere, and is fantastic on this entire album.
There was no concept. No one knew what they wanted to play. No one knew what the music was supposed to sound like other than Bob, who had the chords and the words and the melody. But as far as saying we're going to make folk rock records or no one had any idea what to do. None.
There are plenty of Dylan songs where we argue against the easy answers. Lazy assumptions of bitterness or cruelty that don't fit the actual song. This isn't one of those times. The refrain of "How does it feel" isn't dripping with venom, it's drowning in it. The vengeful way he spits out the words has the kind of dark, hateful charisma you associate with the greatest dictators. This is the pop star side of Dylan, the kind who created genius from simple emotions. He swept aside the veil that fans so often complain about and showed himself at his most open and human. Is this better? Would you rather have the toxic rage strangling every syllable on this song instead of the mysterious poet we know and love? How would that feel? Number 2, Just Like a Woman.
You see, because the thing is, when you people, an image is projected as such on something which we feel is particularly serious.
Right?
And then if you become cynical about it, then one begins to doubt sincerity.
Well, I'm not sincere at all. I'm not any more sincere than you are.
Are you?
I'm any more sincere than you.
That's what we want to ask you.
No, anyway, don't you ever come off stage? Are you ever yourself at any time?
Just Like a Woman shows up on the second half of Blonde on Blonde, but that version of the song wouldn't be number 2 on our list. The reason this song is so high on the list is because of one night, May 17th, 1966. This is the version your soul clings to. Even before the lyrics begin, the guitar becomes part of you and fills itself with sadness. There's so much space on this record. His voice just floats. He wields the guitar like a paintbrush to color his words. And it's not just the notes, even though they're pitch perfect, or the lines that really hit you, when all you really need is that voice. The instrument is barely louder than a whisper, but it comes back whenever there's space to fill. This song highlights Dylan's greatest weapon as a performer, to make himself the victim and garner an unrelenting level of sympathy. It's the same tool that he uses in interviews. Objectively, he's kind of a jerk, but how can you stay mad at this guy?
It's a sort of a breakthrough with his shirt.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's wonderful.
His vocals are so somber, so bare. You feel like you've suffered a brutal breakup, like you've taken a punch to the gut and you're forcing yourself to stand when all you want to do is slump against the wall and break down. At first glance, this song could be seen as misogynistic, with lines like, "You take just like a woman, you make love just like a woman, but you break like a little girl." What keeps it from sliding this way is how personal and emotional the song is. The saving grace is that nobody could think it's a general feeling or a halfway portrait of a woman with hatred covering laziness. He sees her and him and them so clearly, and he's bitter at both their fallings. Nobody could doubt how much this song is wrapped up in his feelings, but when we meet again, introduced as friends, please don't let on that you knew me when I was hungry and it was your world, is a line that everyone can feel and knocks me down every time. And our number one song, circa 1963-1966, is Desolation Row.
Where is Desolation Row?
I didn't hear you.
Where is Desolation Row?
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, that's someplace in Mexico. It's across the border. It's noted for its Coke factory. Coca-Cola machines sell a lot of Coca-Cola down there.
The fate of music may have been changed by a battered second-hand copy of Illuminations by Arthur Rimbaud being pressed into Dylan's hands. By 1965, Dylan had shed the idea of writing songs that could change the world and started painting his own internal world, one where he was judge, jury, and executioner.
Define folk music.
How did I define folk music?
How would you define folk music?
As a constitutional replay of mass production.
The literary career built off the backs of Ginsberg, Rimbaud, and Kerouac's novel Desolation Angels. The apex of this was this song. Dylan creates a melting pot of culture, with characters rising to the surface from all walks of our collective psyche. Cain, Abel, Cinderella, Romeo, the everyday people, and poets like Ezra Pound and T.S. Eliot. They all live in the heart of, or are tempted to visit Desolation Row, even the ideas of the people. Rough sketches like the jealous monk, the good Samaritan, the fortune teller, and the skinny girls. Though the album version is incredible, nothing can match the recording at Royal Albert Hall. An 11-minute flash-frozen moment in time, this version is the living embodiment of the praise Ginsberg heaped on Dylan's performances at this time. I was floored by his ability to be one with his breath, a sort of wave of energy, almost appearing to be like a shaman on stage. This song uses drop D tuning in 3 chords, a basic backdrop that Dylan pushes forward with his varied rhythms and strumming styles. In an odd way, if the song was 5 minutes instead of 11, the guitar may grow tiresome, but Dylan, with his keen ear and natural instincts, knows that this song is an entire world to lose yourself in. What good is the flair of a key change when you can put novels into sentences? Ginsberg once called this era of Dylan city poetry, and he would know, what is howl but the reflected sound of lonely street corners? This is the period in the song where you can most clearly see the influence of Ginsberg and Rimbaud, his twin towers. It was paired with the peak of his performing powers to create something greater than the sum of his tutors. As Ginsberg himself said, if the student is not better than the teacher, than The Teacher's a Failure, and I was really knocked out by
them.
the eloquence of Bob Dylan.
And when they get the answer, I hope they tell me.